Welcome students to today's session. We are going to study the fifth and last type of reaction, which is oxidation and reduction, or in other words, it is called as redox reaction. A reaction in which one reactant gets oxidized and another reactant gets reduced is called as an oxidation reduction reaction. Let us see what this oxidation and reduction is. We can define oxidation as addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. Reduction can be defined as removal of oxygen or addition of hydrogen. Look at this equation. CuO, which is copper oxide, in the presence of hydrogen and heat, gets converted to copper plus water. Now have a look at what has happened to copper oxide. Copper oxide has got converted to copper. Copper oxide has got converted to copper. That means there is removal of oxygen. When there is removal of oxygen, the process is called as reduction. Now when CuO, that is copper oxide, has got reduced to copper, hydrogen H2 is called as the reducing agent here. Whichever is the other reactant which is causing the reduction is called as the reducing agent. Now let us see what has happened to H2. H2 has got oxidized to H2O. Hydrogen has got oxidized to water. And copper oxide is the oxidizing agent. So this is a main question which may appear in your examinations. An equation can be given and you will be asked to write down what is getting oxidized, what is getting reduced, which is the oxidizing agent, which is the reducing agent. So here copper oxide gets reduced to copper and H2O is the reducing agent. H2 is the reducing agent. H2 gets oxidized to H2O and CuO is the oxidizing agent. You have to be very clear about this, which is the oxidizing agent, which is the reducing agent. What is getting reduced, what is getting oxidized. It should be written completely. We will look at the same equations activity. We have to take 1 gram of copper powder in a china dish and heat it. When it gets heated, the surface of copper powder becomes coated with black color copper 2 oxide. This is the equation taking place. CuO plus O2 gives rise to 2CuO. Oxygen is added to copper and copper oxide is formed. What is happening? This is oxidation taking place. Hydrogen gas is passed over this heated CuO. Then the black coat on the surface turns brown as the reverse reaction takes place and copper is obtained. This is what we saw. CuO plus H2 plus heat gets converted to Cu plus H2O. CuO gets reduced to Cu and H2 gets oxidized to H2O. So this is what is called as a redox reaction, where there is reduction and oxidation taking place simultaneously in the reaction. Let us look into some of the effects of oxidation reactions in our everyday life. The first one is corrosion. You are familiar with this term. It is wasting away of metals in the presence of air and water. Corrosion of common metals. Iron gets converted to iron oxide, which is commonly called as rust, which is reddish in color. Copper turns into copper carbonate, which is greenish in color. Silver becomes silver sulfate, which is black in color. Aluminium gets converted to aluminium oxide, which is white in color. This is an example of rusting of iron. Another most common phenomena is rancidity. When fats and oils get oxidized, they become rancid and it causes change in their smell and taste. Usually, oxidation by adding antioxidants to food containing fats and oils. One method is physically prevent oxidation by keeping them in airtight containers. Another is to flush nitrogen gas to prevent oxidation of fats and oils. Our packets of Lays, Ruffles, and all those bingos are flushed with oxygen to prevent oxidation of the chips that is there inside. They remain fresh for longer period of time. So these are the two effects of corrosion and rancidity seen in our daily life. Thank you for attending the session.